Hi, my name's Roey Acton and this is going to be my podcast from media, doing something just casual, talking to you guys on the Media Mouth podcast. So today we're going to be talking about challenging conventions. I think one way that we challenge conventions was that women are always seen as weak or victims in films. However, in our film, the woman is the main character and is the killer. This shows a switch in gender roles. We tried to use angles and clips where the woman, the killer, was higher up to show status and the vulnerability of the man. However, we still used feminine colours for the woman, as we didn't want that to change. We still wanted her to be feminine. So, because we didn't want the feminine killer to be really masculine, we wanted her to still be feminine. That's why we wanted to keep her colours like pink and just her having makeup and all that stuff and like lots of jewellery. Yeah, because we still wanted to show some conventions. So when I was talking about that they're always seen as the victim, we just didn't really want our character to be like a damsel in distress. Like one thing we looked at was the femme fatale, which I think was just something that really, I don't know, we didn't really want that either, but yeah. So I think another way like that we showed conventions or challenging conventions is we didn't really show a backstory either. Like when you're watching films, normally the murderers are chosen and there's a reason for their victims, there's a backstory. We didn't want there to be any backstory, and just we wanted the audience to focus on the meaninglessness of the crimes. We didn't want this murder to have a reason. We obviously had like some planning still when we showed the montage scene. We wanted them to show there was like planning into what she was going to do to these victims, but it didn't really matter who they were. One way that we challenge conventions again is that we just wanted to show that in the film the boy has no care of the woman. He's not fearing her, but like just walking along and has no fear. However, a girl would, and just like a man stood in the corner would immediately like catch a girl's attention. We just wanted to show a bit like how easy it is, that the boy doesn't have to fear anything. But also in a lot of films, when the boys or men kill, they tend to be quite emotionless, and that's a thing that is shown, like men being emotionless and women, if they kill in films, being super vicious and emotional and like a bit of a mess. We just wanted to show like how calm she is when killing and just that it's nothing big to her. Yeah, that is why we also did a shot with the scissors showing no expression in her face. We just wanted it to be like emotionless. As far as the sound goes, we did do a lot of women singing, or we had one of the songs was a woman singing, and then also a lot of calm music to show the emotionless killing. We also filmed it in a graveyard to show like there's no fear that she has, and just we thought it added a nice creepy element, which kind of the graveyard does like follow conventions because it's in a like area that is shown to be scary. It's about death. When we did a small chase scene showing the determination and how the person is not the person being killed, the man is not screaming, we just wanted people to know that he's kind of accepted his fate, but also isn't really scared of her. But like he's running away because he's scared, but because she's a woman doesn't feel too threatened. But obviously he's wrong. As far as social groups go, we wanted this thing that, because men are always shown to be super strong, but he couldn't defend himself in our scenes. Like, there was no way of him escaping from the killer. And it's just, women are always shown that they couldn't hurt someone, that their nature is not being harmful. So we just wanted to show that they could. We also, when I was talking about that we wanted the girl to still have feminine features, this is why we did that. The girl had long hair, wore makeup and jewellery, and had the pink on the shoes. But whereas the boy just wore traditional jeans, shoes, simplistic, just white top, super relaxed. Whereas the girl was a bit more kind of, you know, she was all in black but with that like pop of pink. But yeah, I think that just went along with what we wanted it to. Like, just again emphasising that, like, she's not a masculine killer, she's still feminine, just has that like kind of nature of being a killer. When we were editing, we used loads of glitches to show like what was happening is abnormal, and like the use of burning the pictures over and over, and like right at the end doing that slow-mo just shows the ending of his life. And just, however, we did want to leave the ending to open, like an open ending to interpretation, so people could be like, oh, is he dead? Oh, is he not dead? Because obviously this is just an opening to a film, that's why there's no backstory at all yet. But we wanted to make sure that if, I don't know, it ever was to be a longer film, there was enough room to do all that explanation, not be so cut off at the end. We know that the audience expects the killer to show emotion, but in our film never does. Seeing all the other victims and knowing it's not her first time killing, I just really thought it reminded me of like how women are always referred to being like cat-like and just killing for fun. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like I just feel like women are often referred to being like cats, and I don't know, that might be just something in my mind, and I just thought it kind of reminded me of how cats just like kill birds for fun, and this character is just killing other people just for the sake of it. That's why also like people know that these victims have been killed, because I know on the kind of pin board you might not know that they're dead, but then that's why we put in that clip of the guy screaming. Like, it also shows that like she's torturing him, she's got no remorse when carrying out like what she was doing to him. And then crossing out the eyes, I think, just added a really nice little kind of subtle, like crossing out the eyes just added that little extra pizzazz that he's dead. For our angles, we did also think about them when doing them, especially the chase scene. I know I mentioned it again, but we wanted her to kind of always be that little bit above him, even though like not height wise, but like trying to show that kind of she has the power, she's above him, and that she's not going to back off as well. And again, to mention the cat thing, but that scene where she's hiding in the bushes and then comes out and just like pounces, and that she's waiting for him and like hiding in the bushes, just like again kind of reminded me of the cat, because she just like appears out of the bushes. But yeah, we just, because I know what people are thinking, a bit like, oh, how could he have not seen her, like it was so obvious. We did want that little kind of ditzy man, because I feel like in shows women are also like shown to be quite like clueless and ditzy, and like the killer's right there, like how can she not see them getting really annoyed. So like we just wanted to show the man as being ditzy and clueless for once and not even noticing her. But like, I mean, it could also have been that, you know, she was just minding her own business, but if you're hiding in a bush I kind of doubt you're minding your own business. But yeah, and then finally for the credits, we wanted the fonts to be bold but not too big, but a simple font, a bit contradicting, but we wanted them to be like noticeable and be like, oh, those that font is like a horror font, but we didn't want it to be like in your face and just distract from what was happening. So we did put it just, you know, bottom left corner so it doesn't distract. But yeah, we took a lot of inspiration from the movie Seven, which I love, by the way. We only kept them to the montage bit, like we stopped them after the montage, because we didn't want too much going on during the actual kind of chase scenes and getting distracted. We just wanted it to be at the montage where everything was kind of a bit more chill and like there wasn't too much to be focusing on. I mean, there's a lot in the montage if you kind of look at it in depth and read into it, but we didn't really want the font to go against conventions. We wanted it to be very conventional. We just wanted it to be simple, and we didn't want to play too much around with like the editing and the angles. We wanted that all to be very conventional. Sorry, stop recording. We wanted it to be conventional in the angles and the editing, but not the characters. We wanted the challenging conventions to be within the characters and like their actions and what they were doing and what they stand for. But yeah, we just didn't want too much happening with the credits either, because again, there's a lot going on in the montage, but also outside of the montage if you kind of read between the lines. We just wanted to, you know, follow the conventions. We took inspiration from Seven, which is a really well-known kind of horror murder mystery kind of film, and we just kind of wanted to follow in that because we thought they were really effective. When we did the credits, we also wanted to try line up, I know it sounds a bit random, but line up the like characters' names with the characters, just to kind of, because if this was a film, you know, we'd probably want to use like famous people, but just so people know who is who, and use like, I think it's star formatting, so like having people want to watch the film because of who's in it. But we just wanted people to know who was who. I don't know, I think we were just kind of look at it from a kind of larger scale perspective. The audience to be able to make a link between the characters and the actors, I guess. But yeah, that was everything I had to say about how we challenged conventions. I think we did a really good job at challenging conventions, but also following conventions in a filming kind of way. So I think that just worked really well for us. Instead of following conventions in the characters and all that, and then being all kind of, I don't know. Yeah, we didn't want to go for like the characters being conventional and then having a more alternative style of editing or filming. We wanted it to be like just regular filming, just all that kind of follow the conventions and being really what you'd expect, and then just having this kind of, I think, in my opinion, having the characters being a bit unconventional adds more effect. I don't know, I think that's more effective for what we were trying to achieve, at least. Thank you for listening. Yeah, thank you.